morning. It's wonderful, all these folks, all you folks that are willing to come out on a day that you know is only going to get worse. So we said it was going to be, what, humidex, about 35 today, so yeah. And sitting in the shade, one go for a swim at the pool. Yeah. Yes, it is. Now do I have to start over again? No. Okay. Let's sing just a couple of songs. Ecclesiastes 3 says, I've decided that there's nothing better to do than to go ahead and have a good time and get the most we can out of life. That's it. Eat, drink, and make the most of your job. It's God's gift. What a way to begin. We don't quote that one enough, I don't think. Yeah. Oh, there we are. Okay, let's sing. Oh. Oh. Look at that. Look at that. It's all disappeared. Okay. They're going to have to do this with your memory. What? What are you looking at me? What's the first one? Cruising down the river. Cruising down the river. So we're going to sing Day is Done, because it's not one that we tend to sing too often. It's number 433 in your hymn book. 433.
Thank you.
himself in purgatory being sized up by God. Well, Bill, I'm really confused on this call. I'm not sure whether to send you to heaven or hell. After all, you have enormously helped society by putting a computer in almost every home in the world, and yet your computers cause so much frustration. I'm going to do something I've never done before. In your case, I'm going to let you decide where you want to go. So Bill replied, well, thanks God. What's the difference between the two? God said, I'm willing to let you visit both places briefly, if that will help you make a decision. So Bill says, well, fine, but where should I go first? And God said, well, I'm going to leave that up to you. And Bill said, well, let's try hell first. So Bill went to hell. And it was a beautiful, clean, sandy beach with clear waters. There were thousands of beautiful women running around, playing in the water, laughing and frolicking about. The sun was shining, the temperature was perfect, and Bill was very pleased. This is great, he told God. If this is hell, I really want to see heaven. Fine, said God, and off they went. And heaven was a high place in the clouds, with angels drifting about, playing harps and singing. It was nice, but not near as enticing as hell. So Bill thought for a quick minute and then rendered his decision. He says, I think I prefer hell, he told God. Fine, retorted God, as you desire. So Bill Gates went to hell. 2 weeks later, God was checking on the late billionaire to see how he was doing in hell. When God arrived there, he found Bill shackled to a wall, screaming amongst the hot flames in a dark cave. He was being burnt and tortured by demons. How's everything going, Bill? Said God. And Bill responded, his voice filled with anguish and disappointment. This is awful. This is not what I expected. I can't believe this happened. What happened to that other place with the beaches and the beautiful women playing in the water? And God said, that was a screensaver. Now, I felt badly using that example, so I'm going to redeem Bill Gates later, okay? Yeah. But let us just center ourselves now. And, you know what? Yes, okay, you can continue to play that. Yeah, that's good. That's good. We come now ready for you to search us, God, to find within us the secrets we hide, to receive from within us the pain we bear, to celebrate with us the joys in our lives. But also keep knocking at the door of our lives, encouraging us to open our wills to your purpose, our lives to your life, and our yearning to your hope. These are our prayers and pleas for today, tomorrow, and the future. Amen. One of the readings for today is actually the prayer Jesus gave his disciples when they wanted some help praying. And since then, it has been the most common tie between all Christians over the centuries. Unfortunately, it's often said almost by rote, with little thought given to the words we are proclaiming. Do we say it as a bunch of requests, but with no pleases at it? Give me. Do we ever feel challenged by the Lord's Prayer? Like it's asking things of us. That we don't, things that we don't want to do, or we don't know how to accomplish them because the task seems just too big. If Jesus was around today, what words might he give us living in the 21st century if we asked for help to pray? What words and phrases would speak to and move our minds and hearts? So how are we to pray, and do our words reflect what we believe? So this is a responsive Lord's Prayer today, using the words of the actual scriptural reading. Father, hallowed be your name.
Holy Creator, giver and sustainer of life, the one that we love, the one who loved us first.
Your kingdom come.
This world is not what it should be, what it is ready to be, what we desire it to be what it ought to be. Let us be your hands, your feet, your voice, your love to one another and to the world.
Give us each day our daily bread.
We commit ourselves to work for what we really need, and not for what we might need, or should need, or even don't need. Remove the things in our lives that undermine our dependence on each other and on you.
Forgive us our sins as we ourselves forgive everyone indebted to us.
As we are gifted with forgiveness, help us forgive others, and in doing so, be ready to receive forgiveness.
Do not bring us to the time of trial.
We are your people, and we seek your desires for ourselves and for the world in which we live. It will not be easy. Be with us in times of trials, and sustain us in your love.
Can we give up the rote words that we say every Sunday? Likely not. They are the ones that we feel comfortable with, even with the additions that we've added to Jesus' words over the years, because this is where he stopped. But I think that they should be said at least with a greater conviction, believing that they call us to go beyond ourselves and more deeply into the hurting and needy world that we live in. Our prayers should go beyond our pleas and wants and desires. Give us, forgive us, save us, deliver us. We need to ask for something more, recognizing that it is only through us working together that the plans God has for the kingdom in this world has a chance of becoming a reality. Let's sing. I mentioned a few weeks ago that way to begin the prayer, God crawled into my mind before. And I'm getting to the point now where I'm saying the night before, God, as soon as I start to move, crawl into my mind. Even before the first thought gets into my mind in the morning, crawl in there and take over. Yeah, I think that's a good way to begin. Where is it? Okay. This parable of the barn guy, as I call him, illustrates simply and memorably the futility of choices made with only ourselves in mind. There's been a lot in the news from down south about all the billionaires who are amassing more and more at the expense of those with less, and will be getting less, excuse my grammar, as time goes on. But will they ever get to enjoy all that their greed has allowed them to amass in their lifetime? I think they'd likely think so. But we can't come to the parable of the rich fool with the same sense of smug security. Now, it's just a parable that Jesus is telling. There was actually never such a person. So we might question why this story. Well, I guess Jesus thought that we needed to hear its message. But then we think, well, this man was very wealthy, so Jesus could hardly be addressing us, can he? Most of us aren't wealthy. But we shouldn't be too sure about that, because I think most of us would be hard-pressed not to admit that we are, as individuals, fairly well off. And our country is, in comparison with others, exceedingly blessed. So let's listen to the story and think where our place in it is found.
Good morning, everyone. Someone out of the crowd said, "Teacher, order my brother to give me a fair share of the family inheritance." He replied, "Mister, what makes you think it's any of my business to be a judge or mediator for you?" Then speaking to the people, he went on, "Take care, protect yourself against the least bit of greed. Life is not defined by what you have, even when you have a lot." Then he told them this story. The farm of a certain rich man produced a terrific crop. He talked to himself, "What can I do? My barn isn't big enough for this harvest." Then he said, "Here's what I'll do. I'll tear down my barns and build bigger barns. Then I'll gather in all my grain and goods, and I'll say to myself, 'Self, you've done well. You've got it made and can now retire. Take it easy and have the time of your life.' Just then, God showed up and said, 'Fool, tonight you die, and your beautiful barn of goods, who gets it?' That's what happens when you fill your barn with self and not with God." May these words make us question what our priorities are in the 21st century.
I wonder if Jesus ever got annoyed when somebody interrupted him. Did he lose his train of thought? Here he doesn't give this man who's concerned about his inheritance much attention, refusing to enter into this family squabble. I think he might be muttering to himself, "Read the rule book, people. Deuteronomy 21, everything is clearly laid out." But then we can almost see the wheels turning as he thinks, "Aha, I have a time for a stewardship sermon." Now that's probably something you remember from years ago. Stewardship sermons. Not a lot of church people groan when they hear this because they all think that they're going to be asked to increase their givings. But Jesus takes a different tact. He talks about the seduction of wealth. Now, there aren't likely too many of us who can say that we are really wealthy, as I said. Wealth on paper, of course, doesn't count, as those of the Great Depression came to realize. And the even smaller recessions, really back in the 80s and 90s and 2008, prove that. Money has a way of disappearing very quickly in times like those. And if we borrow against the paper wealth, then it's not really there, is it? Goodness knows what tomorrow will bring. Now, it seems to be going pretty well for this farmer when he gets his final bales taken off his land. There's so many that he doesn't have room for them in his barns. Note the plural, not one, probably not even two, likely more, barns. What a great harvest this year, anyway. So there he is, sitting on a bale, chin resting in hand, thinking, what to do, what to do. Now, he doesn't appear to be a wicked man. He's not gained his wealth illegally or by taking advantage of others. He's not portrayed as particularly greedy. Really, he seems to be somewhat surprised and pleased by his good fortune, just as any farmer here would be. So he begins to make plans for this abundance. No plastic covers to shelter round bales outside from the elements for him. It's an all or nothing thing. Now maybe I've got it wrong, but if he's been adding to his barns over the years, why doesn't he just build another one? Why is he going to tear them all down to build one big one? From a practical standpoint, isn't he going to lose all of his profit building new structures? And what if this was just a one-off event? Next year the crops are just as usual and the new barn will sit half empty. And if he built one more smaller barn and it wasn't used, at least he could make it into an Airbnb. Get some of his money back. But I realized that Jesus wasn't a farmer, he was a carpenter. And so maybe his reasoning was likely flawed, like mine often is, and he was just trying to make a point. Anyway, a reasonable farmer might ask what is wrong with building larger barns to store away some of today's bounty for a potentially leaner, less profitable tomorrow. Nothing, we might answer, except for two things. First, the farmer's consistent focus, if you'll notice, throughout the conversation he has with himself is, what should I do? For I have no place to store my crops. And then he said, I will do this, and I will put down my barns and build larger ones, and there I will store all my grain and my goods, and I will say to my soul, it's relentless, isn't it? The I, the mine. A little bit of a preoccupation with self, maybe? You know, we get no feeling, actually, that he was willing to share his abundance to help others. We expect he was Jewish, and that he might believe that God was at least a little involved, but he doesn't even express his gratitude for his good fortune. Farmer appears to have fallen prey to worshiping the most popular of gods, the unholy trinity of me, myself, and I. This leads to, and is most likely caused by a second mistake. He's not foolish because he makes provision for the future. He is foolish because he believes that by his wealth he can secure his future. Soul, you have ample goods laid up for many years. Relax, eat, drink, and be merry. Whatever our technological advances over the millennia, whatever our intellectual prowess or cultural achievement, each of us and the human race as a whole remain dependent, vulnerable, fragile beings. Human life, for this reason, is fraught with uncertainty and insecurity. Perhaps for this very reason, we are tempted to strive for a measure of security and control over the whims of life through our own efforts or accomplishments. The farmer is called a fool, not because of his wealth or ambition, but because he accords finite things infinite value. He's tried to insulate himself from fate and fortune through more productive farming and adequate finances, and he's come up empty. He has all he believes he wants and more, yet at the end, what comes that very night, it proves inadequate. I came across a quote yesterday. It says, life is strange. You arrive with nothing, you spend your whole life chasing everything, and you still leave with nothing. Make sure your soul gains more than your hands. But most of us have avoided this advice. We believe that if we can just earn, make, or buy a little more, we will be okay. To the crushing disappointment when the new car, or the laptop, or the compound mitering saw, or the cultivator fails to transform our circumstances. But the false promise that we can meet our deepest needs materially has been embedded so deeply in our culture that all too often our response to disappointment with material goods is to shop some more. Yet it's here that we might be educated by our sisters and brothers in what I call the two-thirds world. Anyone who's ever gone on a mission trip to a materially poor part of the world have likely come home and attested to the humbling generosity of their native hosts. It's more than likely because those who are poor are less insulated from death. They have fewer illusions about the ability of material goods to save or transform us. For those of us in the first world countries, the haves, we often don't like to hear sermons on money. It's often the cultural elephant in the room. We know in our hearts that material abundance is not enough. We struggle, weakly sometimes, to overcome the seduction of possessions. But we don't want to be scolded, cajoled, moralized from the pulpit. We don't want to be told that material abundance is bad as we plan the next shopping trip or our next scroll through Amazon or Facebook or Temu for things that take our fancy. That's not what Jesus is posing everything on. For him, it's that, is our material abundance sufficient to provide significant meaning or significance and the joy that we seek in life? Can our wealth secure a degree of comfort, certainty, and grant us confidence that we are worthy of love and honor and are in a right relationship with God and neighbor? I think so. Only as we recognize that the gifts of ultimate worth, dignity, meaning, love, relationship, the intangible gifts offered freely by God, only through those can we hope to place our relative wealth in perspective and be generous with it towards others. And here's where I'll say Bill. I read the other day that Bill Gates is planning on giving away $200 billion by 2045. He believes that only in doing it this way can he help prevent the deaths of women and children around the world, that he can help reduce global poverty and eradicate diseases like polio and malaria. And he's doing this because of other policies that have been made down south. $200 billion. This will not be the last opportunity that we have. No, this will not be, oh yeah. This will not be the last time we have an opportunity, that's it, to speak about the relationship between faith and money. Luke more than any other evangelist, he's concerned about issues of wealth. And I think he and his community must have had some first-hand knowledge with the seduction of wealth, and that's why he wrote his gospel. It says it almost right off the bat as soon as he starts there in chapter 1. It should be a concern for most of us. It's hard to part with our possessions, even when someone else might put them to better use. We like pretty things, we like bigger things, we like better things. I am doing some massive struggling with this. Jim, the girl's father, passed away there a couple weeks ago, and the girls are having the task of clearing out his apartment, and they keep sending me pictures saying, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? And of course they don't want anything, you know? Yeah. And so I'm saying, oh, I remember that. Oh, I remember that. You know, I mean, this came from our Victorian home. And I think, oh, yeah, okay. So what turned out to be one vehicle that I could have crammed everything in, I don't know. Might be a little bit more. Yeah, so I wrote, as Sarah was sending me these pictures yesterday saying, do you want this, do you want this? And I wrote back and said, Sarah, I'm writing a sermon on material possessions and amassing them. This is not good here. I'm struggling with this. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. It should be a concern to all of us. It's hard to part with them. But we can only keep collecting so many things until we get to the point that we don't even remember we have them or have a use for them. How many have stuff in the backs of cupboards that if we sat down and hauled out the stuff, we'd go, oh yeah, I remember that. I dare everybody to bring something next week. Yeah, that's something that we forgot we had. That treasured little thing, that treasured little bowl. I have a little tiny bowl. It's a Nippon bowl. I've never used it for anything, but I've kept it. I've kept it. I dare you to bring something not next Sunday, the Sunday after. I dare you to bring something. We'll plop them all up here. The things we thought we needed, we had to keep. Dare you? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we've all forgot really about our purpose in life, what it's all really about. And you know what, we have it in writing, it's in the Bible, it's right there. It's not to amass things, it's to, and I harp on this a few times every year, is to feed the hungry, drink to the thirsty, clothe the naked, visit the imprisoned, shelter the homeless, visit the sick and bury the dead. That's our primary purpose. The other thing that we know is that we can't, of course, we can't take it with us. And as many of us are struggling with these days, and trying to decide, the next generation doesn't want what we have. So I guess the question I'll leave you with is, so why bother collecting more? As I struggle. Let's sing. Finding wholeness in our lives is a challenge. The nurturing of ourselves and others into that wholeness begins when we work together, sharing ourselves and our resources for each other's benefit. In one way, that is through our givings that we use to enhance the mission of this church, both near and far. So let us gather up what we've got to share. And periods of despair, you are there.
And we're not.
And you're not. It's wonderful. May these offerings be sustenance and hope for all. Empower us to herald your way of love and new life. Amen. There's been a gremlin in his computer because I know I had stuff in here and I saved it. I know I did. I know. No service next week, you think that was the only thing on our agenda? So we've done this for the last 2 years, right, after COVID we did this. Yeah, so everybody's just going to relax and sit by the lake or on their pool or on their back deck and just meditate for a few minutes next Sunday. And yeah, enjoy. I have no plans. So, we'll probably be around. Yeah. There's going to be tea at the box.
Yes.
Yes. From the way you worded it yesterday, Jim wants tea. Jim wants to have a tea, so we're all going to the box on Wednesday from 2 to 4 on Long Lake Road. Yeah, a couple of you might want to carpool with somebody you might not know the way out there. Yeah, you just keep driving. If you get to the end, then just backtrack.
If you get to the end, go into Jean Donaldson.
Oh yeah, Jean Donaldson's, and she'll tell you where to go. This is good. Yeah. So this is good. Yeah, so that's on Wednesday from 2 to 4. Is it rain or shine?
Yes.
Yes, rain or shine. Yeah. Okay. If anybody knows anybody, any youth 14-year-old, okay, does this mean that if you feel young at heart and you're 35, you get to go?
14 plus.
14 plus.
That includes everybody here.
Yeah, everybody here. Okay, Randy's doing pickleball on Tuesday, this Tuesday at 6:30. Yeah, even if you want to go out and cheer them on, you know, like you don't really just all love to have an audience. Yeah, go and cheer them on. Yeah. But if you have kids 14 and up, 14 and up, and they need something to do, get them out there. Tell them he's waving. Signs of Hope. Rebecca Young. Oh, there she is. Rebecca Young, she's 12 years old, student, Scotland. She's designed a groundbreaking solution to help her homeless neighbors stay warm, and it's a solar-powered blanket. Her invention integrates a heated blanket into a backpack powered by solar energy. Earned her a commendation medal in a UK-wide contest that challenged students to solve real-world problems through engineering. Determined to make a difference, she created this practical and sustainable solution to help those in need. Her invention uses solar panels to charge a battery, ensuring that the blanket can function independently of like electrical plug-ins and provide warmth for up to 8 hours. Her mentors praised her ability to combine engineering skills with a genuine desire to make a difference. So according to them, the solar-powered blanket is a remarkable concept coming out of a place of empathy and a gesture and a genuine desire to help the homeless community. So, wonderful sign of hope from a 12-year-old. Yeah. Randy.
Nobody heard Liz said, "You're up." I did. So I thought of something that I read about in the newspaper. Isn't there a farm show this coming Saturday where you could, or farm tour, I should say? I read about it in the paper. It starts at 10 o'clock maybe? I'm not sure. Anyway,
This weekend?
it's on Saturday. I think
Next
this coming Saturday will be the 2nd, right?
Yes.
So I was looking at Haggai recently.
You were just pondering things, and you just happened to find it.
Well, it came to me by reading our daily bread, and I thought, oh, okay, so I'm going to look at that. But then as I looked at Haggai, the book of Haggai, I realized this is really short. So I got thinking about is it the shortest book in the Bible? And so as I did a little research, I came up with, somebody got really smart about this, and they divided all the books in the Bible by 3 different ways that their length are recorded, or how short they are recorded. So can you guess the ways in which, or do you know the ways in which books in the Bible are divided? The ones that I looked at were the first 10. And so it showed the first 10 shortest books in the Bible by 3 different ways. Any guesses?
Number of chapters?
Number of chapters, exactly. Some of them only have 1. actually 5 only have one. 2nd John, 3rd John, Jude, Obadiah, and, well, according to Merriam-Webster, Philemon, Philemon, I would have called it Philemon, but anyway. Those only have one chapter. So that's one way the books in the Bible are recorded in terms of how long or how short they are. Any other guesses? The number of verses. Yes. So 2nd John only has 13 verses, 3rd John 14, Obadiah 21, Philemon 25, Jude 25, and so on and so forth. So there's one more way which I would not normally have thought about right away as to the length of the books of the Bible, but these, I guess, when they're really short, you could do this. One more way. Number of words, Bill. You're right. The number of words. So, 2nd John, 3rd John has only 219 words. 3rd John 245, Philemon 430, Jude 608, and Obadiah 669. And it goes on and on. So, it's, I don't know who's done all this counting. I'm glad it wasn't me, and obviously I don't need to. But I started off thinking about Haggai and the story that's associated with that. So this is your heads up that in a future week there will be a question about the story that's in Haggai and what it's about. In the meantime, now you're totally, in awe about how the Bible is recorded in terms of its shortness. And I've just wasted everybody's time here.
No.
That's true.
Yes, okay. For Liz and Bill.
For Liz and Bill, for guessing the right answers.
Now Randy has given us the clue for a couple of weeks, right? Look on Haggai, so I might have to buy a couple bags of those things because people will be fighting over them. Yeah, they'll all come so intellectual.
How sweet it is.
As long as you don't have the longest one. No. Okay, thank you. God who graces us with abundance. We live in a society that focuses on gathering things. We collect, we store, gather items and gadgets, even people. We focus our energies on our collections, providing adequate room for them, and yet we bar the door to the needs of others, of those who have little or nothing, of those for whom life has been a constant struggle. So we are sorry for the ways in which we have failed you. Forgive us. Yes, you do grace us with abundance of intangible things, of love, compassion, energy, laughter, smiles, as well as monetary and physical resources. We know we can't take it with us, so why not be generous now, bringing healing and hope where we're able. So when we're feeling uneasy and cannot find peace in our lives, when we set our sights on money and would figuratively build bigger or better barns, when we keep our eye upon those who are more successful and we become consumed by envy, when we carry resentment, someone else has more than we, and we rail against life's unfairness, when we long for security which money might bring, but fail to see that there is no way money can cure our inner discontent, provide your healing touch and help us to redirect our search for security and peace. Help us always to remember that it is you who lend us life and that life is a gift. Help us to remember that the purpose of life is always greater than knowing that we have enough for tomorrow. Help us to remember that our resources also are only a gift, and that we are only caretakers with the responsibility for the well-being of our sisters and brothers. Help us to find true abundance in our lives, in our friends, our families, that the beauty that surrounds us, work and volunteering that gives us satisfaction. Yet we know that this isn't always possible for some. Worries can overwhelm their minds, hearts can be broken by losses, doubts can nurture their unbelief, our unbelief. But place your healing hand on them and us in whatever way possible through us. This week we especially remember those who are struggling with health issues, families and especially children who are losing their lives, waiting for food aid in Gaza. Those denied medical help, even here in Canada, especially those with autistic children or rare diseases. Those with too much, and those with too little. Protector God, each of us has worries and concerns that we keep private, close to our hearts, but you know it all. So steer us to one another in ways that we may never know how helpful they are. Keep safe all those who are traveling this week. May they enjoy their time with family and friends, but bring them safely back home. All these things we place in your hands for your healing attention and safekeeping. Amen. I'm going to sing a hymn that we have sung before, despite Mama saying we haven't. Nora's going to play it through once totally for us, just to remind us. It's a lovely little tune. It's easy to pick up with. Okay? No, you need that one. You're a stronger singer than I am. Where's one? Here's one. Here's one. So anybody that's
That tune will work.
what?
The one we were trying to sing, whether it was the right one.
Yeah, this is the right one. If you have a hymn book sitting in front of you, it's 172. God says. You guys all put it up there? Oh, yeah, good one. Okay. God says, so you may hear. No, yeah, you're going off. Okay. Really strong, Norma. Really strong. Play it through once. God says, be still. the church. So the church is leaving the building. So let us all leave this place with grateful hearts and with God's love ready to be poured out and let run wild, so that this will always be a supportive community surrounding everyone, where none of God's children are ever excluded. Jean, is this garden tour this afternoon, is it open, like it's open to the public, right?
Yes,
And you just, where do you go to get a map or anything?
I don't know.
Okay, this is the Kirkland area, this is up
Yes.
north of us? I
Yes.
don't know, somewhere there's a garden tour today, if you feel like battling the temperatures.
Okay.
Where it started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So I did find 2 quotes, but I don't know, only one made it up there. I love God, but some of his children get on my nerves. I love that one. And then, of course, I have George Carlin turning up, and of course, he's long gone. And this might not apply anymore, but back when he was at his heyday, it says, tell people there's an invisible God in the sky who created the universe, and the vast majority will believe you. Tell them the paint is wet, and they will have to touch it to be sure. 2 things for you to ponder on this week. Enjoy your